Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. How's everybody? Okay. All right.
Salam. All right, sir.
Okay. Good. Now, I will do a few things today. We're going to discuss about that bureaucracy model. Okay, that's number one. Number two, we want to look back into this voting model. You see, when last week, you may have the double pick preference, but sometimes that can also lead to consistent outcome. So there are restrictions to that. So I'm going to discuss a little bit more detail because during the weekend I did some other possibilities for the preference. So to have inconsistent outcome, there are some restrictions, and under certain situation, even with double pick preference, we still can have consistent outcome. Okay, so that's the key. But first, I would like to go through the homework. Right, I like to go through the homework. I want to do it a little bit more detailed. I will give a few comments. So let's look at the homework. Now, this was the first homework. I think I discussed this in class. All right. And that is question number 3. Okay, question number 3. Chapter 3, problem number 1. Okay, first comment. Everybody did using the same method. Okay, and that method I didn't teach in class. So where you got the method, I don't know. Maybe one person got it. You share everybody do that. Next time, when you do homework, you do some thinking first. You do your thinking. Don't get the answers somewhere. I know you can get the answers from student guide or solution online. You can get it. Or what you can do, you just type the answers. Now those answers, of course, they are right. But the methods sometimes are different from what we are doing in class. Okay, and you don't follow SBT. Okay, if you have answers that you get somewhere, you don't follow 100%. You do your answers, you compare with that answer, then you will get a better understanding. If you just take it as it is, then it doesn't serve that much purpose. You understand very little. Or maybe we don't understand at all. All right? So when you do homework, I give you time. You may get answers somewhere. That one I cannot control. But you have answers somewhere. You have to do on your own also, make the comparison, do some modification. Just like the Japanese. When the Japanese copy a car, they don't just manufacture a car exactly like the American car. They modify, make it better. So when you copy somewhere, all right, when you get answers from somewhere, do some thinking, compare, modify. All right. So our problem is we want to do it with little effort. That's the thing, we put some effort. Okay. So I discussed that homework again because what you did was different method. So when you have different method, it's not my method that I discussed in class. So that method is, I don't know, maybe you get somewhere. So what you did, all right, the first problem number 1, chapter 3, the competitive equilibrium, okay lah, right? Now, second thing, whenever relevant, okay, you draw the graph. Okay, you sketch graph. Because like I said at the beginning of the course, graph is our tool of analysis. Is one important tool. Saya tak share. I'm sorry. Patutnya saya share. Okay. But I think okay. I'm on my way. Okay. So tool of analysis. One tool of analysis, apart from equations, is our graph. You know, and mainly for us, graph is the main tool. All right. So for anything that is relevant, you sketch the graph, like what I did here. At least we can show. You know, you can show. I can see. You also can see. Okay, and we can look at the detail, and then only we what we do the analysis. All right. So whenever relevant, sketch the graph. You don't give me summarized answer. You know, I don't want summarized answer. I want extensive answer. I want elaboration. Okay, some analysis. Don't just summarize. Don't just give me the answer. You know, you have the equilibrium. Answer is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, whatever it is. So if you give me summary, you know, I give you summary mark. Right. So make sure when you do homework, be more elaborative. Spend more time. Okay. So like I said earlier, whenever relevant, sketch a graph. Okay, something like this. So we are talking about what? We're talking about marginal external cost. So when you have marginal external cost, that means what? That means negative production externality. So we have the situation, all right? Of course, that is the equilibrium. Equilibrium for competitive, first, all right? You state the condition. You don't just show, okay? That is number one. Important thing. That is the condition for equilibrium. We don't just equate supply equal to demand as per the equation. Okay, you have to state the condition first. All right. So the condition for the equilibrium, the competitive market, very easy, like that. So you have the solution. Okay, go to the detail. Don't just give me the answer. Go do the work. And then for the social equilibrium, all right. For the social equilibrium, you have okay, can you see me? Connection was gone. You know, I lost connection for a few seconds. No, okay. All right. So you have the marginal social cost equal MC plus MEC. All right. Nah, gitu macam ni. Okay, you have to look at the function P as a function of Q. All right. Like I said earlier. So MC is equal to what? MC is equal to, we look at part A, you have MC equal to P equal to what? Q over 5,000. So that is MC. You add MEC, which is equal to 20, then we get that thing. So it's clear. All right. Now, if you do the answers like what you did, most of you, it doesn't follow from here. All right, because what you did was you put the MSC equal to MC plus MEC, and some people use MEB. I don't know how they got it. And then you have the P minus 2, okay? P minus 20. P minus 20. This one, it doesn't follow from here. All right? So it doesn't follow. Okay? So make sure what you did or what we do is based on what we learned. Okay? What we learned in theory. So if you do that, I'm not saying it is wrong. Okay? That's correct because you get it from, I don't know, maybe micro, but it doesn't follow. Okay, it doesn't follow from the theory. Okay, the concept. So I want you to learn. Okay, to make sure when you do this kind of thing, make sure you have the demand function, supply function, P function of Q. Okay, if it is given Q function of P, then adjust lah. Okay, change, rewrite. All right, rewrite it in terms of the proper way that we did in class, so that it will follow. Okay, everything will follow, and it also will be consistent with the graph. Okay, because the graph you have P vertical axis, Q vertical axis. You show the MEC equal to that area, that distance. In this case 20, then it will be consistent. Okay, so that is what I want to comment. So make sure, what I'm saying is that when you do the homework, if you got answers from somewhere, don't follow right away, relate to what we learn. Okay, relate to what we learn, how we learn, because how we learn and what we learn, how we do it is different. All right, it's different from the answer that we get. What I teach is different. So we have to relate back. If you have a problem, I told you, you have a problem, ask me. Either you ask in WhatsApp, or you ask me in class, or itu je lah, tak ada lah, because we don't see in the office. So that's the way to do it. All right? Okay, good. So you have the social equilibrium. The efficient is the social equilibrium. So you have what? Of course, you can write MSB. Okay, that would be no problem lah, MSB. But in the case of negative production externality, MSB is just equal to MB. Okay, MSC is the one that has the externality. So you equate. So the condition will come first, and then you equate the equation. You will get the solution. Okay, so that's the way to answer the question. I give you the second one. Okay, you do it same thing. And then what else do we need? Okay, for the last part. Okay, for the last part. And then describe. Let's get answer ni. Okay, describe answer the social equilibrium. The price level is 83. The quantity exchange is that amount. Okay, right a little bit to describe your answers. And then when you do the last part, what is the last part? Last part is the text and efficiency. How we can achieve that. Now, what we have done so far is using the MEC. So when you do text, all right, how can a corrective text achieve efficiency? All right. So okay, this part many people got right. Okay, and of course the other part you answers are correct lah. Just the method. Okay, just the method is different. So for the last part, what do you set the text? You set the text. Okay, T to be equal to what? MEC. Yeah? Okay, to achieve efficiency. Okay, to achieve efficiency, that means in this case, T is equal to 20. Okay, so you can go back to the graph. The purpose of graph is to what? Is to increase our understanding. You can see it. So that MEC is equal to the text. Okay, is equal to the text. And then you will get the for the tax, you can, of course, you can do more lah. You can get the tax revenue, and then you can get here the net gain. Okay, but of course that is not asked in the question. But those are the things that you can find. You can find the net gain. You can find the tax revenue. You can get the net gain. Okay, so you do that. Okay, you do that. And That's homework number 1. Now for homework number 2, all right, for homework number 2, again here, we have to describe, okay, elaborate a little bit. Don't just go boom like that, you know. So you have to show, okay, we have to show how we get the answer. Okay, I discussed this already. I'm going to do it one more time. All right, so if it is a private good, how do you get a private good? How do you get the demand for private good? The demand for private good, what is it? People consume different quantity at what? At the same price. Everybody pay the same price, consume different quantity. So that's how you got the demand function. Okay, so we have to explain now. You know, you have to argue in that way. Don't just write down the demand function. All right. So the private good, that's how you get the demand function. So you go by the price. So for each price, you get the quantities. Okay. So like I did earlier, for price equal to 1,000, the quantity demanded is only from whom? From Alice, which is 1. So you make some point like this, you know, to show that it is 1. Don't just tell 1. Don't just write down 1,000, 1. 800, 3. How you get that 3? Okay, you have to show it the different quantities by different people. Okay, so we did that. And of course, if you do these things, you get at 400. Okay, at 400, quantity is 10. How do you get quantity is 10? That is the quantity demanded by each of the individual. At where? At the price equal to 400. Now, when you got that, there are so many things that you can do. Number 1, you get the demand function. Okay, I draw the demand function. So draw the demand function. Or you don't have to draw, but it's good to draw. Okay, you draw it, you can relate. Okay, you can relate better. Okay, you can relate better. Okay, that's first question. What is it? At price 400. Now, if it is a public good, okay, if it is a public good, saya tak share ke? Share. If it is a public good, then what? Then people pay different prices at HQ. It's the other way around. We consume same quantity, pay different prices. That means we're willing to pay different prices, or marginal benefits are different. Okay, you pay according to our marginal benefit at different quantities. So you get the market demand function. You can use sigma MB, or we can use D. Okay, all right. So at Q equal to 2, which is the question for that part, then you add up the marginal benefit of the people. Okay. So the table here, the table that is given is more for public good. Okay, because we are talking about public good. So the table is public good. If you get public good, easy. But for private good, you have to do some work. So you get 1,000. How you get 1,000? Because at Q equal to 2, MB of A, 800, and so on, you got 1,000. Okay? So we have to show some work, all right? Show some work. You have to argue, okay? You have to argue what are the principle, how you get it. Okay, we don't just get it like that. And then for part C, if the marginal social cost is 2,000, then what is it? If it is a private good, so marginal cost 2,000. Then if you sketch the graph, then it's easy. Okay, you get the market demand function here, which is this one. Marginal cost is up there here, 2,000. So you can see from the graph there is no solution. Okay, so you draw the graph, then you explain that is what should I say? That's how you answer a question. Okay. All right. So you go back to your solution, your answers, compare to what we discussed now. Make the correction. All right. Make the necessary correction so that you don't repeat the same mistake. Okay. Some people just give me very compact summary answer, just like textbook answer. I don't want that. Okay. I want more explanation, elaborative. Write down something lah. This is economics. This is not pure mathematics. Okay. So you have this thing, and then for part C of the condition is demand equal to supply. And then you equate things like that. All right. Then you got the answer. Now the last part D for a public good. Okay, public good. This is good. This is a good example where you can practice drawing the graph. So that when you draw graph in exam, in the quiz, whatever, you already have the idea of how to draw the graph. So you don't waste too much time thinking how to draw that graph. Okay, so you draw the individual demand functions, not necessarily draw a sketch lah. Okay, what I'm talking about sketch. Okay, and then you sum them up, you get the demand function, which is this one, the market demand function, right? Or sigma MV. And then you have the marginal cost 2000. Okay, here for a public good, you get that equilibrium point. If you don't draw the graph, some people they draw the graph and then they say Q equal to 2 for private good, for public good, Q also equal to 2. So I do not know how you got it, but how do we show? We show by graph, okay? Because graph is our tool of analysis. And of course, the other one, okay? So both are important, right? Okay, so that is my comment. Why I do it today? Because I want you to not to learn. At least I'm giving you information, all right? How to answer question in the quiz or exam or whatever. Okay, so homework though is the practice. So when you do practice, you spend some time. All right, spend some time. Don't just get answer from somewhere, from other people, and then just try. The objective of the homework, if you even give me wrong answer, but you show some argument, show that you understand something, I like it more than if you just give me a summary, whatever it is, just give me the numbers, no explanation, no nothing. Even though the answers are correct, I don't think that is the right thing to do. Okay, so another point is that even if you get answers from somewhere, right? You get answers from internet. That's good, but don't use it 100%. You have to what? You have to compare to your thinking also. You do some thinking, you do your answers by yourself, modify a little bit, make it more beautiful. Okay, learn from the Japanese. They copy the car from American, they make it better. Okay, so that's how we learn, all right? So I hope people understand. All right. Okay, good. Okay, any question? Any comment? Okay, so we go back to this thing here. The model where you may have inconsistent outcome. Okay, if you have something like this, all right, if you have something like this, then you have here, you have inconsistent outcome, all right? In another case that we did, remember we did one of the cases, you did one, even though the preference, one of the people preference has double peak, but we end up with a consistent outcome. So what I'm saying is that even because we did in class, even with double peak preference, we may have consistent outcome. All right, we may have consistent outcome. When I look at the situation, number one, the median voter must be there. Okay, you cannot change the median voter. The median voter must be the same. What you can change is either A or B. All right. So in this case here, we change B. So we make it double pick. Or you can change A. All right, but not C. If you do that, probably we will not get the we not get the what do you call it? We not get the inconsistent outcome. Okay. All right. So that is our discussion for that model. Because what I thought was, as long as you have one double peak preference, you will lead to inconsistent outcome. But when we did a few cases, that is not the case. Okay, that is not the case. I'll give you an example. Okay, I'll give you an example. One example is like this. Katakan you have this situation. Okay, I have here S, M, L, medium, most. Okay, this is reference. And then for A sama. Okay, A we don't change. That is A. And then C, I don't change. I have here C, the median voter. So that's it. Now B, you change, becomes like this. Okay, that is B. So if you do like that, B, you change like that, then we lead to consistent outcome. Okay, we have. So from this model, what we learn is this. To have inconsistent outcome, of course, you need the double peak model, double peak preference. But it doesn't happen in all cases, you know. In some cases, even with double peak preference, we still have consistent outcome. So I think we did one example in the class last time, right? Okay, any question? So I want to show you this. Okay, this is arrow impossibility theorem. Now, this arrow impossibility theorem is given in the book, chapter 5. What page number is that? You go to chapter 5. Okay, look at chapter 5. I'll give you here this PowerPoint. You look at page number. Everybody go to page 5. Oh, no, chapter 5. Okay, in the edition number 11, it's on page 174. So according to this theorem, this is arrow impossibility theorem. What does it say? It says that it is impossible to devise a voting rule that meets arrow's condition that guarantee what? Guarantee a unique political equilibrium. So according to him, okay, according to arrow, given this condition, you will, or the voting will lead to consistent outcome. So the argument was, it is impossible to have that condition. Okay, so in the book, okay, you go to page 174, I write down here, these are the conditions. What are they? number one, all voters have free choice, no dictator. I mean, one vote, one voter, one vote. All right, voters' preference consistent. Social preference is also consistent. So if everyone's preference is consistent, the social preference will be consistent. If I and you, our preference consistent, that means the society's preference will be consistent. Okay. Now there will be a unique outcome. I think this one probably will put at the last. Given each voter's ranking of alternative, the social preference follow the same ranking. Do you understand that? Do you understand that statement? If each individual or each voter have certain ranking, then what? Then the social preference will follow that same ranking. Okay? If I, you, and other people rank high better than low, okay? So the social preference must follow that same ranking. High will be better than low, right? Okay, so what it's saying is this: individual preference will lead to the social preference. Okay, all right. And then public choices are not influenced by the order in which they are presented. That means if A is preferred to B, or if A is preferred to C, you know, it doesn't matter whether you vote A versus B first or B versus C first. A will what? A will win the election. All right, so it doesn't matter the order. The winner will be still the same. All right. Okay. That is the problem. You know, that might not happen. And then the other point is public choice must not be affected by elimination or addition of an alternative. So if A is going against B, I put in C, the winner will be still the same. Okay, so that is what that last point was saying. Okay, ada satu lagi benda ni. If you look at the book, ada one more. Okay, the other one is of course transitive public choice. If A is preferred to B, B is preferred to C, then A must be preferred to C. Okay, so you have that. Now, given all this, all right, given all these conditions, you will have consistent outcome. All right, you have consistent outcome. So the problem is, it's almost impossible to get all these conditions in the real world. Okay, so in a given society or a given country, it is almost impossible to have all these conditions. Okay, so that's why we call it impossibility theorem. It is almost impossible to devise a voting rule that satisfy all these conditions to guarantee consistent outcome. Okay, so that is the arrow impossibility theorem. So what we are saying is this: voting, okay, voting also simple majority rule, there are problems. Okay, there are problems. We don't say that that system is perfect. It is not perfect. But given the conditions, you know, given the situation or the alternative, that is still, you know, one of the best. Okay, given all this alternative, that is one of the best. So it is not perfect, but given the thing, given the existing situation or conditions, that is the best that we can do. Okay. All right. So that is it. So what I want you to do, you go, if you have time, you go back to the book, you know, you look at the conditions. So all these conditions are impossible. So we call it arrow impossibility theorem. Okay. So that is the end of chapter number, not the end of chapter 5. We still have one more part to cover. There is a few things that I mentioned with regard to the voting rule. Okay, any question, any comment? So I will go back to our notes. Okay, this quiz is today is 25th, so our quiz is 27th April. Right. Let's do the bureaucracy model. We already outlined, okay, the bureaucracy, and we have already a little bit of understanding, the behavior of bureaucracy. This is the thing that we are going to discuss on. Bureaucrats, their behavior, right, will result in inefficiency. So let us show how is it? Okay, let me get the okay, this is what do you call it? The number 4 itu dipanggil apa? They call it bureaucracy and output. So this is a model on bureaucrats. Okay? Now you look at the firm. The firm maximize profit. All right. Bureaucrat, since that agency don't belong to them, say if you are the firm, you are the owner of the firms, we maximize profit. Okay. Now the bureaucrat, let's say the bureaucrat, you hit an agency, okay, this agency is similar to a firm, you don't maximize profit, all right? Because why? Number one, the firm or the agency don't belong to you, okay? Don't belong to us. It belongs to the government directly. Of course, government is us. You don't belong to us. You just what? You just run the show, okay? I just manage it, or you run it. Okay? You just run or manage. So we don't have incentive. There is no incentive or less incentive to maximize profits. So what do you maximize? Okay, you maximize our own interest. You maximize our own benefit or interest. Not the agency's performance, So as a result of this, that will lead to inefficient outcome. Just like, when you have, let's say you are appointed as the chairman of one government agency or one board. Let's say chairman of the agency to be in charge of subsidy to OKU, orang kurang upaya, the disabled people. Your budget is 10 million. Okay. Alright, sorry. Internet saya ni duk putus-putus. Hari ni apa? Weather tak adalah teruk nak. Berapa kali putus lah kita ni. Tak apalah. So sometimes, this is the side effect of online. Okay, so we maximize. Hello, are you still there? Ada lagi? Sorry because my internet ni tak tahu apa pasalnya pula. Berapa kali saya dah cakap ni? Okay, so you maximize your own benefit. For example, if you are appointed to be the CEO of, I repeat myself, okay? CEO of what? Of an agency that is in charge to take care of the OKU. Okay, right now, OKU, is being a group that is underprivileged. We don't really take care of this group. So if you are the head of that agency, according to this theory, what we do first, we don't worry too much about the OKU. We worry more about what? About myself, about ourselves. So first thing that you do, you got a budget of 10 million or 50 million. What you do? I bought a new car. I refurbish my office. That already habis dah 10 juta. Okay? So at the end of the day, out of that 50 million, the amount that go to OKU, berapa je tinggal? Right? Because we maximize our own benefit. Right? And that will lead to inefficient outcome. Okay? So this is what I am going to, or this is what we are going to look at. So in order to do this, we're going to look at the cost, the cost, okay, the total cost, total cost. Look at the total cost, all right, and then we look at the total benefit. So the total cost and total benefit. Now, when you have these two concepts, we want to determine Q star. That is the efficient or the optimum. The optimum amount of output. Okay, Q. So Q star, optimum amount of Q. Okay, all right. Now for bureaucrats, or for efficiency, we will look at efficiency first. Now for efficiency, what is the condition for efficiency? We know the total cost, you know the total benefit. So total cost ni macam supply lah. Total benefit ni macam demand. Okay, you have the total cost, you have the total benefit. How you get, what is the efficiency condition?
Marginal benefit equal to marginal cost.
Very good. So for efficiency, marginal cost equal marginal benefit. Okay, that is a condition for efficiency. So from the total cost, I take the marginal. So I have marginal cost. From the total benefit, take the marginal, I got marginal benefit. So you have now four functions: total cost, total benefit, marginal cost, marginal benefit. Okay. Now, if you recall, marginal cost, marginal benefit, we can think of it like this: marginal cost, slope upward, like supply function. Marginal benefit, slope downward. So that is the efficient E. Okay. So that is the efficient MC star equal to MB star. So in terms of marginal cost, marginal benefit, that is the standard graph. Okay. Or you can do the marginal cost horizontal. All right. Okay. Now we look at the total cost, total benefit. So number 2, total cost, total benefit. If I draw the graph, then the total cost will look like this. Saya draw cantik sikit lah. We look like that. Macam tu. The slope upward. Marginal benefit, the slope flat. Macam tu. Okay. Now, the slope of these functions, or total cost, the slope of the total cost, total benefit. Okay. These are the slope of the total benefit. The slope of the total cost. Okay, the slope of the total cost is what? Is marginal cost. Okay, the slope of the total benefit, that is our marginal benefit. So for each of these marginal benefit at different Q, you draw, that's how you get the marginal benefit and the marginal cost. Okay, that means we get the slope of the total cost function at every Q, then you get the marginal cost function. So the condition for efficiency is marginal cost equal marginal benefit. So this is the what? This is the thing. Okay. Now you look at this diagram. How can I show the point of efficiency? Marginal cost equal marginal benefit. So you want to find that point where the slope of the marginal of the total benefit, somewhere here, wherever it is, and the slope of the total cost, same. Okay, that condition. So there will be somewhere here, say suppose that point. That's marginal benefit equal to marginal cost, somewhere there. So that is our point. So that is Q star. So at that point, call it E, the marginal cost equal MB. That means the slope. We are talking about the slope, okay? Slope of the total cost equal slope of total benefit. All right? Now, in terms of the marginal diagram, that is the point. Okay, that's the point where the marginal cost equal marginal benefit. You get Q. In terms of the total cost, total benefit, that is the point where the slope are the same. Marginal cost, here is marginal benefit, equal to the marginal cost. The slope of the MC equal to the slope of MB. So you got that point E. Okay. So that is the point. So if you look at this graph here, when the marginal cost equals the marginal benefit, so what you can see here, the difference between the marginal cost and the marginal benefit. What can you say? The difference between the marginal benefit at the top will be higher. And the marginal cost at that point, E to QE, Q star, what can you say about the difference? If I compare it to another output somewhere, somewhere, katakan dekat sini, Q1, dekat sini. Alright. What can we say about the difference?
Marginal benefit bigger than marginal cost.
Of course, bigger. Dekat Q1 pun bigger tak? See, kat Q1 pun bigger. Alright, Q1 is also bigger. If I take another point here, Q2, you see the marginal benefit one still bigger than the marginal cost. Alright. So what is the difference? What is the unique point? What is the unique about the difference here?
Doesn't maximize.
That MB minus MC is what? At E, MB minus MC is what? Is the largest. The difference at that point,
Degree of profit.
it's not the degree of the profit. Sometimes the profit can be zero. Okay, if you recall, when supply equal to demand, MC equal to MB, sometimes profit can be zero. Okay, sometimes profit can be zero, or sometimes profit can be what? Positive. Sometimes profit can be negative. So we're only talking about what? The marginal benefit, the difference. If I produce one more good, the additional benefit, the difference between the additional cost will be what? Will be the largest. Okay, will be the largest. So that is at the point E. The difference between our marginal benefit will be the largest. So that is the efficient point. Okay, that is the efficient. That is the point where, if you recall, in behavior of the firm, where the point where you produce what? We produce at a minimum cost. So efficient, right? So that is the efficient output level. Okay. Now, bureaucrat, they don't behave like that. That is the behavior of what? Of the firm. MB equal to MC, that is the firm. If you own the firm, that's how we behave. Now, if we are bureaucrats, we own the agency, just similar to the firm. We don't do that. What do we do? Okay, bureaucrats, they will choose a point. Okay, so number 3, bureaucrats will choose a point where?
MB minus MC.
Bukan MB minus MC. We choose a point to maximize benefit. Okay, maximize our own benefit or power, whatever it is. This one own. Okay, own. They will produce. They will choose Q at total benefit equal total cost. So they really maximize benefit. All right, they really maximize the benefit. So, but of course, they have to look at the cost. So they will choose that one. So that is EB, equilibrium for bureaucrat. They will choose a point where the total cost just equal to the total benefit. Okay, so the marginal benefit is not equal to the total cost. So you have total benefit equal total cost. That will be at Q equal to QB. Okay, so this is inefficient. Now, if you go back to the graph, at the point EB, though, what can you say about the total, marginal cost, marginal benefit? What can you say about the total cost? The total cost, but marginal cost, marginal benefit. You draw lah satu. Okay, that's marginal benefit. That's marginal cost. Okay, what can we say?
Marginal cost bigger than marginal benefit.
Marginal cost bigger than marginal benefit. So at that point E, though, marginal cost, first one you observe they are not equal. All right. Now when you compare, senang je cerita dia. You start with equal dulu. Okay, is it equal? If it is not equal, then you ask the next question. Dia tak equal maknanya apa? Bigger than or less than. Tak ada benda lain dah. Okay, ini je. So when you do comparison, anything, all right, in the world, anything is either equal, larger than, less than. I don't know about the first choice. Ada lagi ke number 4? Ada lah. Okay, kalau tidak sama, 4. Okay, 3. Okay, equal, not equal. If they are not equal, it must be what? Larger than or less than. Tak ada choice lain lah. So you just look at that point, whatever thing is, in economics, it's very simple. Okay, they are not equal. So they are not equal, then you look at the thing. Which one is bigger than the other? Okay, all right. So you can see here, total marginal cost is not equal to marginal benefit. And in fact, marginal benefit is bigger than the marginal cost. So additional cost, if I add one more unit of the good, the additional cost will be what? Will be larger than the additional benefit. So that is inefficient. So you see, the bureaucrat will choose that output level. So we have here, okay, inefficient. Why inefficient? Because marginal cost is not equal to the marginal benefit. And you can see here, marginal cost is larger than the marginal benefit. That means the additional cost is more than what? It's more than, it's higher than, or higher than the additional benefit. So you produce at that point, the additional cost is higher than the benefit. So it's not efficient. Okay. If you look at the firm will not behave like this. Will not choose the output level. Okay, all right. So it's inefficient. And you have here, all right, because of this, number 4, you can see here under bureaucrats, the output level is what? Output level is higher. That means Q1 tadi saya pakai QB, Q1. Q1, no, QEB. So EB kita pakai QB lah. Alright, QB. So QB means quantity for the bureaucrats. So you have the EB. Okay, number 4 total. So here is put the EB. Okay, equilibrium EB and Q equal to QB. So you can see QB is higher than Q star. So under bureaucrat, they will produce higher than the efficient output. In terms of budget, since you have higher output, what about the budget? The budget is higher. Okay, the budget is higher than what? Than what it should be. Okay, so they always overspend. So Q is higher than Q star. Output is higher. That means the budget, they will spend higher than, or the budget or your spending will be higher than what? Than the efficient amount. Here we can say overspend. Okay, so that's why we said bureaucrat is inefficient. Why? Because they behave in such a way that we maximize our own benefit. Okay, so like that 50 million you get for the budget, the purpose of it is to give subsidy to the OKU. You know, the agency already spent, I am the boss, you know, I hire 10 advisors. Okay, my cousin, my brother, my anak saudara, my atuk saudara, segala benda, 10 orang to advise me. But those advisors, I don't know what they are doing. They are doing nothing. Okay, 10 advisors. Kerja senang je. Okay, and then you have a foreign advisor, international advisor lagi. Habis berapa juta dah tu. Okay, so these are the things. All right, for bureaucrats, they not all lah, you know, but at least as theory says, we think of it as a glamour, you know, benda itu sebagai glamour. Sometimes we forgot that it is what? It is a trust. You know, it's your responsibility. You are accountable because that is not ayah kita punya duit. That is not our own money. That is what? That is the people's money entrusted to us to serve the objective. But we don't. Okay, so but if you look at what happened, you know, now compared to 20 years ago, bureaucrats have improved a lot because, you know, our society has become more educated. You have the balance, you know, what do you call it? Balance and apa? Apa that democracy? Balance, check and balance. Check and balance. So lebih-lebih pula sekarang ni internet, you know, you cakap je semua dah keluar dekat internet. So now we tend to be more efficient lah. Okay, so that's good. You know, that's good. We are moving into the right direction. Okay, any question?
Kalau birokrat in Malaysia like EXCO
Like apa?
EXCO.
EXCO? Oh no, bureaucrat is not just the EXCO. Okay, when you look at bureaucrats, bureaucrat is quite general. It's not just like EXCO. Okay, it's quite general. So, for example, you are the head of Bank Negara. Okay, so bureaucrat they will start from whom? From the governor.
Oh, civil service.
Civil service lah. And then the what do you call it? Adalah CEO segala benda, agensi bawah tu. Lepas tu managers. So you have a different level, okay? Different level. And then managers, sometimes the clerk pun, you know, is a bureaucrat. They have a certain amount of power. So bureaucrat is more of not politician, okay? Certain politicians, of course, they are lah. But when you talk about bureaucrats, that come to mind is the public employee. Okay, because politicians they pointed as ministers. You know, they pointed as ministers. or appointed as, if you are appointed as you are a politician, you are appointed as the head of, you know, a department or agency, then you are a bureaucrat. All right. So not necessarily politician. It can be politician, but generally public sector employee. Okay.
All right, sir.
Okay. Okay, any question? All right, so chapter 5, okay, chapter 5, if you go through chapter 5 is quite large, you know, so many concepts there. So you have to read, you know, of course you understand the basic model, okay? There are two basic models that we discussed. Number one is the political equilibrium model, okay? That's the first one. From there, you get the median voter theorem, you know, you get the simple majority voting, things like that. And then you look at the pairwise voting, okay? From the pairwise voting, we got what? We got the concept of cycling, okay? Consistent outcome, and then cycling. And then I mentioned multiple pick or double pick preference. And then you have what? You have agenda manipulation, okay? Agenda, you can manipulate the agenda. And then you have all the other things you will read, okay? In the book, it's given. And then, and of course, for the political equilibrium, you have the voting rule. Okay, so make sure we know the voting rule. That is the base. Voting rule, the marginal benefit, you compare with the tax. And then we talk a little bit about plurality rule, okay, and then how to win election, and then some characteristics of individual who run for election, like their personality, you know, personality values, things like that, and political parties. So it's quite, what do you call it? It's not very specific, you know. This chapter it's a little bit broad. All right. So make sure you understand the two models, two basic models, and then only we extend. All right. So chapter 5 is a little bit, to me lah, you know, it's a little bit more difficult than chapter 4 and chapter 3. So you have to spend some time to get the idea. Okay. All right. So any question? Now, next topic. Okay, next topic will be on subsidy. Okay, next topic will be subsidy. That one will cover after the year, like good. Oh no, yeah, we may have time on Wednesday. So Wednesday probably, you know, I will start with chapter number 7. Okay, chapter number 7, subsidy. Okay, all right. I think I will stop here. We are done with chapter number 5. I think for the quiz, okay, for the quiz, I'm going to give you the benefit. We just look at chapter 3 and 4. Okay, chapter 5 to be dulu. Chapter 5 to read, that will be in the final interview. So I will focus chapter 3 and 4. There is the accessibility and public good. Okay, for the quiz. So don't worry about chapter 5. That will narrow down the material that you need to review. Okay, anything? Any question? Anything? No. All right. Good.
Midterm after raya, sir.
Amda?
Midterm.
Midterm after raya lah. Takkan nak buat masa raya. Nak buat raya?
Okay.
Nak boleh tak?
Tak.
Hari Selasa tu raya, Rabu kita buat test.
Orang
Boleh
mula
tak?
rendang lagi.
Saya dah tua-tua ni, raya tak ada apa pun. Okey, orang muda ni raya nak, raya dia nak sedap tak? Okay, so we think about the exam after raya. Because I need to do this. I need to have the exam face to face. But at the same time, I need to learn how to also do it online for our foreign student ni yang belum balik Malaysia. So I need to learn that one. I know how can we do in the classroom. Okay, I'm trying to check whether we can do it using the komputer dalam kelas. Boleh ke? Tak boleh. Sebab saya ni kan pandai sangat komputer ni. So I want to check first, if we can do it, that would be good. Okay, you have face to face at the same time. I will turn on this Zoom for the people that is not in campus, especially yang foreigner lah. Okay, alright. Sebab apa dah lama sangat dah exam online. Exam online ni different. Okay, okay. Anything else? Okay, all right, good. So I will see you again Wednesday. Have a nice time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Sir.
All right, thank you.